Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. As requested, I looked at the mods that just recently published instead of checking mods that were already trending, and I found a few hidden gems in there that I actually think deserve more spotlight. And trust me, there are a lot more, so if I didn't feature your mod and you thought it should be featured, just let me know, but I apologize that it wasn't in here, because I will be featuring a lot more after this. And I also apologize because I also featured some mods that I kind of knew would blow up as well, just so people could have something to watch if they didn't like the hidden gems. But for the most part, these are barely mods that had over 100 downloads at the time of me finding it. So with that out the way and said and done, I hope you guys end up enjoying this video, and if you do, even just about 2 minutes of it, make sure you hit that like button down below. But as of right now, let's dive right in. The first mod up is at Whiterun. It overhauls the walls. This mod is called Whiterun Has Walls Redone, a remaster of the previous version by the same mod author, which was just called Whiterun Has Walls. This mod is just like I mentioned, one that I knew would kind of blow up because it does look amazing, but I wanted to put these first. But this mod completely overhauls the exterior of Whiterun, giving it more of a fortified look rather than just walls. Whiterun Has Walls is nice for a medieval look, but the redone version is more so how I would imagine Whiterun would look if the walls were never completely destroyed. The best part about this mod though is that this also overhauls the interior with fortifications. And it also comes with lots, so you really don't have to do anything yourself like that. But you probably should, because I mean it is your list, it's not going to be vanilla. And not to mention the fact that every single fortification that you see, you can actually walk on and visit. It's not just lots. Because NPCs also do it now. They are completely nav meshed and walk around like they're on patrol. I'm not going to say it's 100% perfect, you might run into a few issues here and there because it is fairly new. But it's definitely better than anything I've seen so far in terms of adding walls to Whiterun. Next up is an NPC replacer called Daughter of Solstheim, Frea. This mod overhauls Frea, giving her a better look, but still kind of immersive, kind of looks vanilla. But this mod also features new hairstyles for her, so you can pick whichever you want. I kind of prefer the third version, but that's why this is here, so you can find which one is your favorite and go with it. I realize I don't really showcase many NPC overhauls, so I'm trying to fix that, like with this next mod overhauling Aela. This mod is called Bloodmoon Aela. This mod is definitely the oldest on this list, but people recommended I showcase it because it never got a showcase, and it's definitely deserved it. It features over 4 different styles for makeup and 4 different colors for eyes as well. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what the math is on that, but it is a lot of variations that you can mix and match. And if I'm being honest, with bias included, this might have become my favorite ELLE replacer if I'm sticking to a vanilla like Skyrim. Otherwise I generally go with the Bella's Blessing, which is also a great alternative. Up next, and the last popular mod on this list, we have overhauls the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuaries, and I'm surprised it took this long, but this mod is called JK's Dark Brotherhood Sanctuaries. And I'll be honest, this overhaul is completely unlike JK. He usually massively overhauls every single inch of this place, adding clutter and new rooms. But this time he kept the vanilla look to it, just adding clutter around the place to make it seem like a place people actually live in, but my FPS didn't tank with this. And this also leaves the exterior of the Falkreath Sanctuary alone. There's pretty much no difference to the outside, so this mod feels almost completely different than what I'm used to seeing from JK, but that doesn't mean that it's bad, because he also did the same for the Dawnstar Sanctuary. I'm just glad he didn't make it separate mods, so we got a 2-in-1 with this one. But this one is also very light, just like the Falkreath Sanctuary. Pretty much almost untouched. It was kinda hard to do it before and after with this one, considering there wasn't too much change. He just kept things light, just adding clutter to make the place feel a little bit more immersive. Wonder if this means JK is going in a new direction with his overhauls, or maybe he just wanted to try something different here, and it's definitely working. At least for me it is, it's working. But up next, a massively underrated mod in my opinion that will be staying in my list. This mod is called Yngvild, A Bird Pass. I just have a feeling I said that wrong even though I googled it. But as you can see, this mod massively changes up this forgotten location in Skyrim. There are just a few certain locations that people just kind of never touch or forget about, but this mod is now finally overhauling that. This mod changes up the location, adding more Nordic clutter and ruins to the place just to enhance the atmosphere. It's nothing fancy, but this is all I need, just like the next mod up, which is just a texture mod called Riften 3D Door by Redone. Usually people skip his mods. I don't know why, I have literally no idea, because he's always putting out amazing 3D artworks like this that just blend in so well with Skyrim. The only issue you might have is that sometimes it might not match your retexture, but for the most part, the meshes and textures on this story is amazing. I highly recommend checking out his page. Some great stuff there. But up next we got an armor mod ELLE returned and decided to release for us, called ZK Rogue. Adding a modular tight skin light armor to your game, this armor would generally be all black, but the accessories on the leg I decided to change to the other armor variant, just to mix and match and just so you can see the full details of this armor. There isn't any physics tied to this armor besides maybe body physics, whatever you have that set up as, because there's really nothing on this armor that would move when you move. But I could see someone adding a cape or maybe a skirt to this just to enhance it, because this is skin tight. And with there being two colors of this armor, you can definitely mix and match some colors like me, or you can just completely go one color, whatever fits your style. But I do want to give one quick warning about this armor. Because it supports 3BA and beyond, you can use it with both bodies, but you have to build this armor's body slide first, or else when you get in game you will be invisible and then you'll say that this mod is broken. So just giving that quick heads up so you don't go on bug reports. But up next we have a new player home that reminded me of the Astronomer's Loft, but instead in Solitude and instead in Angeline's store. This mod is called Avenue Overlook. This mod just adds a small attic type room to the top of the store that is free for you to use once you find it. There isn't anything overpowered in here for you to grab, mostly everything you see is just for a cosmetic reason. It's like a free home for you to sleep in case you used up all your money on something recently. All this mod needs now is a lux patch and the lighting will be perfect, making this mod overall perfect. Up next now, this one also might blow up, but this mod is called Ascend, Hidden Peaks of Skyrim by Jay Serpa. It seems Jay is expanding his horizons. Get it? Horizons because we're climbing mountains? Well, okay, moving on. This mod makes it so that you can now climb the new heights in Skyrim using animated traversal, which Skyclimb kinda ruined, so don't use that with this if you want the full effect. And of course, once you reach the peak, you will be able to meditate, allowing for you to gain new buffs once you do a bunch of them in a row for your effort, but that doesn't mean this is going to be easy. You get rewards for hard efforts. Sometimes this mod leads you to the wrong spot, forcing you to go down and reclimb back up to find the correct one. But there will always be indications letting you know where you can climb, or at least try to, because that doesn't mean it'll always work. This is just a cool immersive mod if you ever decide you want to take a break from fighting and exploring in Skyrim, and actually enjoy the beautifully modded Skyrim you built. Even after 3,000 mods, you probably just fast travel everywhere. So maybe you want to actually take your time to enjoy those 3D lots. Because these peaks are all over Skyrim, and the DLC land as well, Solstheim. Up next, another very underrated mod called Slightly Better Kettles. You do have to use the base object swapper version, otherwise you probably won't even see this in effect, which would be sad. But this mod works with any food retexture and just replaces the kettle the food is being cooked in. Like I use Skyrim 3D cooking to make things look better because Skyrim food looks trash, and this mod blends in perfect with it. Frank Black mods are kinda starting to become an instant download for me the moment I see them. They always look great and don't give me any issues. Kinda sad to see some of them go unnoticed. The next mod overhauling Riverwood, but just the outside of it, with the mod called Northern Fortification Riverwood. This mod changes up the walls of Riverwood, just making them look a little less defensified, if that's a word. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not entirely sure what the aim for this was, but it's kind of nice to see Riverwood with less walls than Whiterun for once. But this mod also adds small things like changing up the bridge and that small hut you just saw. So it's not just the wall, but this isn't a massive overhaul that's going to destroy your FPS, but you'll definitely notice the difference this mod brings. This is a small mod for those people tired of using big mods such as JK's Riverwood. It does need an EFPS patch if you happen to be using that, but other than that, this mod has no issues. But now for an underrated armor called Black Knight Armor. This armor looks absolutely amazing, and I'm surprised people didn't download this mod more. Generally, underrated mods like this catfish you with good pictures, then it looks terrible in game, so I just decided not to show them. But this armor definitely delivered on what was promised, giving you a heavy armor with multiple weapons to use with it. That, I will be honest, is kind of massive and not really that immersive, not going to lie. But the sword and shield combination though, those are immersive and make for the perfect combination. Maybe this didn't get downloaded because it isn't skimpy, but I swear, I'm not sure how, but if a fur cloak could get added to this with SMP physics, I guarantee this will be the top of the trending page right now. Well, maybe if joggers wasn't there, but it would still be there. And if you're wondering about my animations, it is Warlord Animations, which is sword and shield from Smooth. This is the free version, but there's a paywall version. And then there's also Centurion I'm using, also free, which is sword and unarmed. But up next for the next underrated mod, we have Lokir's Tainted Tomb. This mod, if you don't get it for the fact that this is a small but immersive dungeon that won't take up hours of your time, Get it for the environmental effect, because we all know Riverwood's forest, and it gets boring, but this might spice things up a little bit. Like I said, this is a small dungeon though, but it is packed with enemies that will give you a challenge at a new level, and also a new dragon claw that you can sell for some coins. It's a nice starter dungeon for people looking to level up before tackling Bleak Falls Barrow. But there are quite a bit of enemies and also traps, so you might want to be a little prepared before you tackle this place. But that was it for today, guys. I know some of these weren't really hidden gems, but for the most part it was. So let me know what you thought about today's video, and also try to be a little bit nice about the underrated mods when you comment at least. But other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.